So it's interesting that Layla told us that the revolution would be tweeted, because I did find out about the Women's Campaign School of Yale University on Twitter. I saw a tweet. It was somebody who was looking for money to help them achieve the tuition to go to the Women's Campaign School of Yale University. And I thought, oh, wow, I wonder what that is. And I looked it up, and not surprisingly, found out that the woman who is president of the Women's Campaign School of Yale University had read my books, or we were connected in all kinds of ways. Big surprise, right? And she said, why don't you come out and see what we do one day during our training? And I did, and I was so impressed and so excited, and once again said to a gang, will you come out to Los Angeles on November 10th and 11th? So you already met Deb Suffield. You will now meet Karen Patel and Patti Russo. Patricia is the president of the Women's Campaign School at Yale University. She has held numerous leadership positions in the public, private, and not-for-profit sectors. Her current focus is on initiatives dedicated to increasing the number of women in public office at all levels of government. Ladies and gentlemen, please join with me in welcoming. You know, I'm so excited by the aesthetic, you know, the beautiful, the music, the performance pieces. I had told Patti and Karen when I was there, they said something like, why are you doing this in California? You know, usually one thinks of these kinds of things in Washington. I said, oh, baby, this is a California type of thing. So California, give a welcome to these fabulous women. Karen.
Hello, sisters, sister giants. I feel like a California girl now. I've been so welcomed and so loved by all of you. Such great vibes, and to leave 8 inches of snow in Connecticut was a blessing. Thank you so much. So here's my Marianne Williams story, just for us and the live streamers and the campaign school at Yale. La Familia is with us tonight. They're live streaming from all over the country. Hello out there. I'm glad you're with us. Here's my Marianne story, which is pretty amazing, and none of you will be surprised, but it's really changed my life, and that's what she does, right? So I'm going along, I'm doing my thing, I'm getting ready to run the school, and a couple of months ago I was in Washington, D.C. with a group of my fabulous colleagues from other campaign schools for women in the country, and we were having dinner, and we were talking about all the amazing training that we do, because we really all do incredible training for women. And at one point I said, we're doing all this amazing training, yet we just don't have critical mass. We just don't have the great numbers of women that I think we should be experiencing in our country. Something is up. I think we have to go within, and I think we need to do some work inside, from the inside out. Well, they left skid marks. They ran away from me so quickly. It was okay, nothing personal. But I really, you know when you're in the minority, but you really feel that what you're thinking and feeling is true? So I get on the train and I'm having a talk with myself, which I do regularly, and I said, please send me somebody who can help me with this. Because I believe that if we can do this, we will see critical numbers of women running, and women in our country and in our world. So 2 days later, I get a call from some fabulous woman named Wendy, who's kind of interviewing me over the phone, and we just kind of made this connection. And then 2 days later, I get a call from Marianne, and we're talking, and I told her this story. And I told her about my prayer, if you will, on the train that day. And I said, I just was praying for somebody to come into my life to help me, help our women of the world run. And she said, I can help you. I will help you. You know what, that Marianne thing? I will help you. I will help you. We will get this done. Because that's what she does. 2 days later, she's on a plane. She's at the campaign school with us, and we are, again, just so thrilled to be here. You met Deb last night. You're going to hear more from her in a little while, and Karen Patel, another one of our rock star instructors, is here with me tonight. I'd like to thank Marianne, my radiant new friend. Your inspiration and divine intervention already has been the missing ingredient in our world of women in politics. Together, I know that not only will all of us here be transformed, not only will we level the playing field, finally for women, but by raising our voices and working together, we will lift up our entire planet. Thank you for sharing your love and light with our world. Thank you, Marianne. So when people ask me, how many women are there in Congress? Now, I know we're all doing a dance, and we're really happy that we have 20% in the Senate, and I want us to enjoy that moment. Let's enjoy it together. We got work to do, but let's enjoy it, let's take it in, let's celebrate, and then let's move forward. My answer is not enough. Ohio State Senator Nina Parker said, women will be the firewall this election day. I think she was absolutely right. The gender gap spoke volumes on election night, sending more women to Congress and to our state houses. Here are the new statistics on women in Congress. Come January 2013, the largest number of women ever in our nation's history will take their seats in the 113th Congress. According to the Center for American Women in Politics, a record number of 20 women will serve in the United States Senate, up from 17, and a record number of at least 77 women in the U.S. House. We made history in electing Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin! And I am especially proud that in my own home state of Connecticut, we elected Elizabeth Esty to Congress. Elizabeth is a star graduate of the Women's Campaign School at Yale. Congratulations, Elizabeth. The state of New Hampshire, with its history of firsts, where's New Hampshire? I hear you out there. Became the first state ever in our nation's history to not only elect an all-female congressional delegation, that's 2 U.S. senators and 2 members of Congress, but also elected a female governor to run their home state. Go Granite State! That tells me, yes, it can be done. Of the 100-person Senate, 20 will now be female. Of the 437-person House, 77 will be female. On the state level, California ranks number 13 with 28% of its state House and Senate female. Colorado is number 1 with 40%. What are you doing? Keep doing it, Colorado. All right, not to beat up on Deb any more than we have already, but South Carolina's dead last, Deb. 10%, Deb. We know we can do better, and we will do better. So as you can see, while we're moving in the right direction, albeit painfully slowly, there is plenty of room for growth and work to be done to achieve our goal of political parity. These numbers are simply not good enough because they do not honor and value the 51% of the population of our country. The Women's Campaign School at Yale is out to change all that, not only in Congress, but at every level of government, in every state, and in many nations of the world. The adage, add a woman to the mix, change the world, are words we live by. 1992, you may recall, was also the year of the woman. Like every 20 years, we get a year. Remember that? And you wonder why I'm not doing a dance, Jane Lynch, about the 20 in the Senate? Remember that? I was so busy helping so many women running for Congress. It was an exhilarating time, a moment I thought, and so many others did too, would change the way in which we do the business of politics in our country. A watershed moment. And we certainly thought we'd reach parity in Congress by, say, 2000. Well, who knew the year of the woman was truly only going to be 1 year? So we had our 1 year of the woman, and then it was back to the business as usual in our country in 1993, but not exactly. That was the moment that created the Women's Campaign School at Yale. 2 of the drivers behind the creation of the school were 2 Connecticut congresswomen, Rosa DeLauro, a Democrat from New Haven, yeah, Rosa, and former Congresswoman Nancy Johnson, a Republican from New Britain. They facilitated the brainstorm that was to become our school by founder Andre Brooks. Our board at the Women's Campaign School at Yale is comprised of an equal number of Republicans and Democrats, as are our students. I like to say that we're a role model for Congress. We work together, we compromise, we respect each other, and we disagree. We work for the greater good. I know you understand that. We also eat together, shop together, and genuinely enjoy each other's company. The work that we do is so beyond each of us individually. It's the culmination of our work that makes us so effective and so magnificent. Our vision was to create a partisan, issue-neutral political campaign training program for women, a place where women would be taught by the most accomplished leaders in politics, two of whom are with me today. We wanted to create an environment that was challenging yet supportive, where women could step outside of their comfort zone and do it afraid, and return to their home states confident in their new skills. Our school was created to address the reality of women in politics. Women won't run unless they are asked. We like to remind women, this is politics, not the prom. Run! Run! Worse, young women are not even thinking or considering a run for office or any political career of any time in their lives. There is a huge ambition gap in our nation that our school is working hard to close. 6 years ago, my daughter left home for college. I went back to college myself. I wrote to 20 women's colleges and universities in the US, inviting them to host us to run political campaign workshops at their schools. 4 years later, I've spoken at over 30 schools, planting political seeds wherever I go. Yes, we are indeed growing our candidates in the future, and that is basically what we're going to be doing this weekend as well. Ironically, studies show when women do run, they win at the same rate. They just don't run as often, and there are just not enough of us running. Then there's just plain old terrifying fear. We give women the tools to run fearlessly. At the Women's Campaign School at Yale, both Republican and Democratic women find common ground. At the school, women discover their similarities are far greater than their differences. Our approach is one of indestructible optimism. We embrace and welcome a diverse population of women. We urge our students to meet each other in a spirit of adventure, that people from all walks of life are sources of inexhaustible surprise, new perspectives, and enormous information filled with life lessons to share. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "It's your life, but only if you make it so." We help women to create the political lives of their dreams. There are two choices in life: to choose to live openly, enthusiastically, to take risks, to change the world, or not. I know all of us in this room know the sheer bliss of leading a spiritual life, living from the inside out. We at the Women's Campaign School at Yale know the feeling of taking the lead and creating a ripple in our community that turns into a tidal wave. We know what that feels like. Ladies, it feels really good. Now, imagine if we were able to join together the spiritual with the political. How would that look? How would we change our world? What if more who live as we do ran for public office? Let's just take that in for a minute. Or simply led a civically driven life. How would consciousness lead our country and our world to a better place? I think a good place to start is for all of us to choose to be leaders in our lives, whatever that looks like for you. Often, when I speak on behalf of the school, I teach the book, The Four Agreements, by Don Miguel Ruiz. I know many of you know that book and live that book. Most of my politically aspiring audiences, however, have never ever heard of that book. Yet once they do, they enjoy their own aha moment, thanks to its simple and elegant message. They discover a way in which to lead their lives, to live their lives, using the book as an instrument to leading a political life. Just 4 simple agreements that you choose: to be impeccable with your word, to not take things personally, to not make assumptions, to always do your best. If you do choose after this weekend, and I do hope that you do, to lead a political life, there are many facets to explore and consider before running for public office. Questions that only you yourself can answer. Why run? Why me? Am I physically and personally ready for the demands of a campaign? Am I up for all of the homework necessary to make sure that intellectually I'm comfortable and confident? Is my own personal financial house in order, or am I vulnerable? Am I emotionally able to deal with all the challenges that will come my way? Is my family on board? Will they be supportive? Do they understand they will be in this race with me? These are the kinds of questions we will help you to explore and answer at our school. While you are the only one who can answer them for you, we can help to guide you and move you forward. This is the reminder that we share with our students during their time with us. This is your moment to do it afraid, to do it intelligently, to be brilliant, to be bold, to be seen in this world. You can choose how you want to uniquely, distinctly create your own moment, what you want it to look like, whether it's running for public office yourself, running a political campaign, or taking a leadership role in your community. Feel what feels right for you and go for it. Break out of the ordinary. My life as an activist has been a happy accident, a progression of unplanned events, or maybe not. In high school, becoming a Girl Scout troop leader to a leaderless troop in a poverty-stricken city, where not only did we march in every parade, but we also marched against violence against women. One of my Girl Scouts grew up to run the New Jersey Women's Stand Up Against Violence Action Team. In college, going door to door to no avail in search of an internship with a member of Congress. Feeling exhausted and beleaguered, I step into a ladies' room in the Cannon office building, and my life changes in an instant. There I befriend a woman who had just given notice. She was giving up her job, her internship job, for a real job in the outside world. That internship led to my wild and remarkable ride as an intern for Congresswoman Bella Abzug. Bella, I feel her here. Bella's office created almost daily opportunities for activism, in or out of her office, everywhere. No one rocked the boat to speak the truth quite like Bella. In fact, Bella almost demanded it, primarily because she saw daily moments in life as an opportunity for activism. One I recall distinctly involved an outraged Bella attempting to apply for an American Express card. At the time, and it wasn't that long ago, Amex required a husband's signature on the application. Remember that? Now, Bella and her husband had a very loving marriage. However, the thought of her having to obtain his signature on her card sent her into a tizzy. That tizzy created the Equal Credit Bill, sponsored by Bella, that sailed through Congress with strong bipartisan support. Her friend and colleague at the time, Margaret Heckler, a Republican from Massachusetts, said, "They can send a man to the moon. It's time they give us our own credit." I think of that story each and every time I use my own American Express. A friend wrote a letter to the editor. "Is anyone as concerned about the stench emanating from the dump as I am?" she asked. "If so, please join me for coffee this Saturday to discuss." 400 people showed up and shut that diner down and eventually shut that dump down. 2 days later, she ran and won a state rep seat. 4 years later, she became Connecticut's first female Speaker of the House, Maura Lyons. Just one letter. So, as you can see, it doesn't matter which avenue you choose to share your light with the world. It's just important that you do. Know that your voice matters. Recently, His Holiness the Dalai Lama visited Connecticut. Although addressing a co-ed group, he had a special message for us, for women of the world. Women have a special capacity to lead us to a more peaceful world with compassion, affection, and kindness. And there is no more important time for that than this moment. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to introduce my great friend, Deb Sofield, who you all met last night. Deb is the immediate past president of the Women's Campaign School at Yale. She's also a proud graduate of our school. She's an internationally and nationally acclaimed speech coach and is a leader in her home state of South Carolina. She serves as chairman for the Commission of Public Works for the water system in the city of Greenville and is the first woman to hold the position since its inception in 1918. Deb also serves as a Liberty Fellow, a partnership with the Aspen Institute. No surprise, Deb has been recognized numerous times for her extraordinary leadership. She has earned the Legacy of Leadership Award by Leadership South Carolina, considered one of South Carolina's most formidable women, although I have to take a challenge with that. You are the most formidable woman in South Carolina, Deb. The Southeastern Institute for Women in Politics awarded her the Leading Woman Award. She was also awarded the Order of the Palmetto, the state of South Carolina's highest honor. Deb is hot stuff. Be sure to look for her book, Speak Without Fear, this holiday season. This quote embraces Deb, all that she is, and all that we're fortunate enough to hear and work with her. Your life is your message to the world. Make sure it's inspiring. Here to make sure that yours will be, please join me in welcoming our dazzling Deb, Deb Sofield.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that opportunity. Patti Russo has led us in a great direction at the Women's Campaign School. Yes, we're so proud of her. And by the way, you've never been hugged until you've been hugged by Patti Russo. Let me tell you a story about one of my favorite people in the whole world. The New York Times tells us she embarked on a show business career at age 15 by going to Manhattan and enrolling in the John Murray Anderson Robert Milton Dramatic School. Her stage